Okay, so welcome everybody. I am Davide Cucci from Minder, and I will show you how you can really help us to gather the validation data that is necessary to tell how accurate is the WSF-3D product from DLR. So as was discussed by Thomas, the WSF-3D product provides an estimate of the height of the built environment at 12 by 12 meter resolution worldwide. And so here in the picture, you have a view of Dar es Salaam, and you can really see the zones where the buildings are higher and where they are lower. Now we want to know how accurate is this information. To do that, what we will do is to look at pictures that have been captured from a street view. So from people walking on the street, as the one that you see here in the bottom. These pictures come from several cities in Africa and may also come from other cities in the world to get the most comprehensive validation data as possible. And what we will do is to identify in these pictures what is the highest building that we see, and then we will count how many floors this building has. And the number of floors basically translates to a height information for the building that we can compare to the data that we have in the WSF-3D. So we will do this via a website that you can access on your smartphone. And so what you will need to do is to wait that you receive an email to the email address that you provided to your coordinators. And this email will contain the username and the password that you will have to use on this website, tanzania.minder.org, which is, and then you will see the image that you have here on the right. That's the screen view. You will enter your credential and do the login. Once you are in the application, you will have three buttons that you can click. So the first button is Learn, which lets you access to the training material that was prepared for this application that will tell you how to do the tasks and how to do the mapping. And basically, it will cover what I'm covering in this presentation now. Once you have learned how to do the task, you will see it's very easy. But be sure to do it before starting. Then you can click the start button and start to do the tasks. The last button lets you access the user statistics, in which you find basically the count of how many tasks you have solved today and how much time you have spent today on the application. Just as a reminder, all the time that you spend in the application counts. So if you do one task now and one task in 2 hours, everything is counted. So you don't need to do your 2 hours in a row. If you click the start button, you will have this view in the application, in which in the top part there will be an image, and in the bottom part there will be a skip button. So what you have to ask yourself is, do I see a building in the picture? If you see a building, then you should click on it. And then if you don't see a building, or if there is any other problem that doesn't let you count the number of floors, you should skip the image. But this we will see more later on. So in this image, for example, we can see that there is a building. So everything that is constructed by man and by humans count. So this is not really a house, but it's something that is built. It has a roof, it has walls, and it's clearly man-made. So this counts as a building. If you see many buildings, like in this picture, that have similar height, it doesn't matter. So you can select the closest one to the camera, and you click on it. Once you have clicked on the building, you have a next page that opens, in which you will have the same image with the dot where you have clicked, marked in red, and you will have to tell how many floors this building has. So in the picture, we see that we have clicked on this house. This house has two floors. Why two floors? Because there is one floor here with this line of windows and another floor here with this other line of windows. The roof doesn't count as a floor. Even if he has windows, the roof doesn't count. So one floor in the bottom because there is a door and a window, and one floor above because there is another line of windows. Basically, you should consider a floor if a man can fit inside. That's basically the definition. If you cannot count the number of floors, you should go back and skip the image. You can skip the image for several reasons. There are three reasons that we have put in the apps, and you should select a reason when you skip the building. The first reason is that there are no buildings. Since we are sampling streets from image from all over Africa, we can't guarantee that in the picture that we will show to you there will be a building. Maybe there is just a grass or buildings are so far away that you basically cannot count the floor. So in that case, you should tell us that there are no buildings. There are also other cases in which the buildings are there and you can clearly see them, but there is something that obstructs the view. For example, here is this container that is obstructing the view, and we can clearly see that there is a building behind the container, but we cannot tell how many floors it has because we don't see enough for this building. In that case, we just say that the building that we can see because there are obstructions. The other button is in case you have any other doubt, maybe you don't see the building completely, or you are not sure if it is a building or not, or if it's not clear. So now we will look to some examples that will let you understand better some difficult cases that you may encounter. For example, in this image, we have that there are two buildings and both of them have two floors. So here, it doesn't really matter which one you click. So just choose one, for example, the right one or the left one, it would be the same. And then just say that that building has two floors. In this case, instead, this is a really difficult one, but you can still answer. So we see that there is a tall building. It's probably a church, but we cannot really say how many floors it has. Nevertheless, we can guess based on our experience and your knowledge of the cities that this building will probably have between 4 and 5 floors. The nice thing is that many of you will give the answer, and many of you will have a different idea of the height of this building, and we will see this statistically because many of you seem to see the same images, and we will get an accurate estimate of the height of the building based on multiple answers. So feel free when you have a building like this to give a guess. 4 or 5 floors will be fine, and then answer with your experience. This is another difficult case in which we have this building, which is clearly the tallest in view because it's taller than this other one on the right. But we don't see the building completely because the image was taken too close to the building. So in this case, we cannot tell how many floors there are. So we should not guess because this building can be very high. We just don't know. So in this case, we cannot guess. In this case, we need to skip the image. We would like you to click on the skip button and then put the other difficult image answer. This is another example of a difficult building. We can see that this is the tallest building, but we can also see that the roof is visible in the image just above the third floor. So you should look at images carefully. In this case, there is a roof. So you can give the answer because the roof doesn't count. This image, this floor has three floors, 1, 2, and 3. Another case that was asked several times is, what do you do if you see just a wall? So the wall is a building. Uh, we don't know what's behind, but we also know that if there was a building behind, we would see it because the wall is not so tall. So in this picture is correct to answer, to click on the center because it's the closest building, and you can assign one floor to it because the wall is approximately one floor high. Also, you can see it comparing the wall to this next building that has one line of windows. Here, it would have also be fine to click on the building on the left, but we suggest you, we ask you to click always on the closest building if there are multiple possible choices. There is another example here that shows a typical situation in which we have a wall, and behind the wall there are buildings. We can see that there is a building here behind the wall, and again, the roof doesn't count, even if it's taller than the wall, which is clearly one floor. The roof doesn't count, so you should click on the building because it's the tallest. Remember that based on your click, we can tell the direction you are pointing at, so this will give us the information approximately where the building is. So please click accurately, and here the tallest building is the one with the roof, but it still has one floor because the roof doesn't count. Here is another case that is a bit can be a bit tricky. Um, Here the tallest building is clearly this one, the gray and yellow one, and you should click on it. And also you should answer that this building has three floors. Why it has three floors? We can clearly see that there is a wall in front of the building, and this wall is covering a part of the building that is surely one floor high. So there is one floor visible, one floor visible, three floors in total. So that's it. As simple as that. You just access the app and you answer the tasks. And if you have any questions, you should refer to your coordinators or to the Resilience Academy in the channels that have been presented before me. So the WhatsApp group, at certain point, everybody will be in the WhatsApp group, all the users participating to the pilot. And then if you have examples that you really don't know how to label, you can just take a screenshot with your mobile phone, and um, you can post them in the group so that we can help you to give the answer. I would also show you the application live so that you have a better feeling of how it looks like. This is the screen simulated from a smartphone. You would put your login credential. Now I put mine. You access to the application, and then there are our three buttons as we discussed in the slides. I will do the learning first. Always do the learning first. There will be a number of screens that you should go through, and will tell you exactly many different cases with instructions how you should solve the tasks. And please really do the tutorial because it's very instructive. It tells you how to answer in certain difficult cases, and it's very helpful if you do it completely. Once you have done it, you can start to do the tasks. Here, there will be pictures. For example, in this one, we can see that the buildings are all in the back. The highest is this one. It has two floors. Every time it loads a new task, here there are the buildings. Okay, they are covered by the trees, but we can see that there is a building here. There is no building in the top. We can foresee that there is no building in the top. So we can click here, and we can say that these are one floor. Is another building. This is very interesting because this is Dar es Salaam. You see that there is a skyscraper here in the back. So you should click the skyscraper, which is very far though, and it clearly has more than 9 floors. And here again, there is one building. There are 2 floors on the highest. and you can, yeah, for example, here this image is a bit difficult because we don't really see what's happening in behind. So that's mostly because of the trees. So this is a clear image that we should skip, and we should declare that you can't see, because clearly there are buildings here, but you don't really know what you should answer. So you can't see. This is also an image that may pose challenges, but even though there are trees, we can see that the building on the top has, on the center has one floor, so we click and we answer one floor. You should really look at the image and guess, use your experience of the cities, how they look like. You can imagine where the buildings are and what is the height of the buildings. Anyways, many of you will answer the same task, so that's why we can judge if you answered the task correctly, or if you just did a quick job, not looking carefully at what's going on in the pictures. So here again, we can, even if there are instructions, yeah, this is an important part. If you wait too long, the application will ask you to restart, because this is to prevent, to count the time when you forget your phone on a table. So in this case, you just resume. The same task will be presented to you, and this time you can give the correct answer. It is one for this building in the left. So that is it. You will see that after solving a certain number of cases, you will get your feeling on how this thing is going to work, and you will be pretty fast and pretty solid in your answer. But we will always be there in case of questions, so please don't hesitate to ask or to send us examples or different